Well, thank you so much for joining. This is Prashant Kumar from Cashflow Champs. Today, we are going to talk about why broker relations are important in multifamily syndication. Once again, thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Just a disclaimer that I'm not an attorney or a financial advisor or an accountant or a tax advisor. The purpose of this webinar is information purposes only, right? If you please seek professional advice from appropriate personnel. I'm here to share experiences that we have in multifamily industry and the importance of broker relations. And these are just our opinions and thoughts. Just a little bit about myself. Again, this is Prashant Kumar. I'm a certified commercial investment member, CCIM. I live here in Long Island, New York. I'm married, have 2 kids. My daughter goes to college. My son is in middle school. I'm a managing partner in Cashflow Champs. I've been an IT consultant in multinational companies over last 25 years. And about a year ago, I quit my job. I've been doing multifamily for about 7-8 years right now. We have a current portfolio of about $146 million. Right now, about 1,600 plus doors. I'm co-host of Cashflow Champ Real Estate Podcast. And as I said, I've had about 2,000 units in past. In my personal portfolio as a syndicator, I currently have about 1,000 units separately of Cashflow Champs. I love helping everybody. I love multifamily. I love assisted living. And my hobby is I like to meditate regularly. So anybody who wants to, connect with me on meditation, feel free to connect with me on that as well. So what are the 2 most important things in the syndication business? Can somebody, if you want to respond in the chat window, you can do that. What are the 2 most important things in the syndication business? One is deals, and second is investors. That's the fundamental of the business, right? If you don't have deals, and if you have only investors, then you are not an operator, right? You probably would invest in somebody else's deal. But if you are an operator, you need to have deals. But then you need to have investors also. Today we are not talking about investors. That's a big topic, and we will talk about that separately. Where do deals come from? As a syndicator, you are looking for deals, and where do they come from? They are either off market or they come from brokers, right? So off market is which is not listed basically on MLS or on LoopNet, or it has not been marketed. And the ones which come from broker, they are marketed widely on various platforms, right? So the important thing is small deals. You may find small deals basically which are off market. You can do cold calling, hire a VA and make calls. You can do mailing campaigns. The deals of size less than 50 units, these are typically the deals which you can potentially find off market. It is almost impossible to find off market deals basically directly from the seller for under 50 units, because the owners which own more than 50 units, they are a little bit more professional owners, and they want top dollars for their deals. And for that purposes, they don't want to connect with individual buyers. They want to connect with, they want the top dollars, they want their deals to be marketed properly. And those who are professional syndicators, they connect with brokers, and they connect with the right brokers, and they give them the deal to sell it further, right? So it's almost impossible to find bigger deals, 100, 200 unit deals off market, because at that level, $20, $25 million deal, at that level, sellers really don't want to talk to the buyers directly, because sellers want only vetted buyers to come to them, because sellers are busy in doing the business, right? So it's very important, if you are in the syndication business, to establish good relationship with brokers. If you want to play in a smaller level, less than 50 units, 60 units, in that range, then you can hire VAs, you can have mailing campaigns, you can have wholesalers through social media, you can have yellow letter campaigns. And I personally have bought a deal like that in a smaller segment, mid to small scale segment, 50 to 7, 40 to 70 units, in that range. You can potentially buy that way. But if you are looking for 100, 200 units, you better start building your relationships with the broker. So now we are talking about building a relationship with brokers, right? It's very important for us to have a strong relationship with brokers, right? Typically, what people do is, out of state people, they go to their target market, they spend a weekend, and they squish in a bunch of meetings with the brokers. They look at few deals, and they forget, and they try to see that if they can find deals in that time frame. But that doesn't happen, right? They go back, they start calling brokers, they continue to look at the deals. But they are just lookers. They really don't establish a relationship with the broker. Broker doesn't want to waste time. Human interaction is very important. Just calling broker is not sufficient. And sometimes it may be sufficient, but the important thing is you nurture a relationship with a broker. A multifamily broker is a broker who wants to sell the property, who has had the relationship with the buyers as well as sellers, and it's their career, right? And they want to establish the relationship with you also at the same time. So it is up to you that you build that relationship, and a single broker can give you multiple deals, within a year. So nurturing that relationship is very important. In our team, we have dedicated people who actually have connections with the brokers. I mean, almost all of us have, connections with the brokers, but we make it a point that we go out with brokers. We invite them for lunches and breakfasts or dinners and meet them personally. Because when they see our face, listen, if I get 3 calls in a day and I have lunch with somebody whom whom do I know more? I know somebody whom I have had lunch with, right? So we connect with them on a regular basis, at least once a quarter, we have lunch or dinner with them and see. And almost all the time when you meet a broker, and broker will say, I think I have a deal. You may want to have a look at it. But I mean, if you're just on emails or phone calls, unless they have really gotten all the information, they do not send it out. So important thing is that we establish a relationship, a personal relationship with brokers. And for that, just 1 or 2 phone calls are not enough, because brokers do not want to waste. If you have called them only once or twice and you think that they're going to continue to send deals to you, you are just a looker, right? You are not a buyer. You're just looking at the deals. Hope I'm making it clear to everybody that nurturing a relationship with a broker in syndication business is of utmost importance. Deals and investors, right? We're not talking about investors right now. We are talking about deals. And where do the deals come from? They come from broker. So you have right hand and left hand. One is investors, one is lead. And deals come from brokers, basically. So every time you talk to broker, brokers, want to, because this is their career, they want to find out what is that you are looking for. You should be prepared. You should have your answers ready. If you are just a looker, you are just a tire kicker, you are starting this business. And if you don't have your act straight, it is better you prepare yourself in communicating what you are looking for, right? What is the market? What is your target market? What kind of return metrics you are looking for your investors, right? What are the asset class, where are you going to get the debt, and what is your positioning in terms of equity? So all these things should be clear, because if these things are clear in your head, broker takes you a little bit more seriously. If it is like, hey, listen, Mr. Broker, I'm looking for a deal, maybe 20 units, maybe 70 units, maybe A class, maybe C class. If you give these ambiguous answers, broker is going to understand that you are just, probably wasting their time. So important thing for you is to tell them clearly what you are looking for. Broker is going to share only what they have with you, but is the impression that you create with them that is very important, right? You should know what you are looking for. They may share what they have with them, right? So that's the important piece. You should be as professional. When you talk to somebody, meet somebody, you should be as professional. You should come out as professional as possible. Some of you may be well-established syndicator who know what to talk. Some of you are starting in the journey. It's not bad that you are starting on the journey. You are starting on the journey, and you want the deals also. So you have to establish this relationship with these brokers as well, if you want to be in business. And this is a long-term thing. You're starting the journey now. You start nurturing that relationship now, so that in a year or two, you have that bond with the broker, and broker is bringing those deals for you in your target market. Hopefully it makes sense. So, we were discussing a couple of days ago. We have had some examples like that, I'll just give this example. We were looking at 150 unit deal last year, and this was an on-market deal, and we put our offer, and there was another group of similar size and similar experience, similar track record. but they did not have experience in our market and the market in which you are buying the property. So our broker actually fought hard for us with the seller because he knew us and he knew that we closed the deals. Broker did not have experience with the other group, even though the other group had higher, higher offer, because broker knew that we had closed the deals with him in this market. He fought for us, and he got us the deal. So establishing relationship, it's not one deal that you're going to do with a broker. If you build a relationship with a broker is going to bring you the deal again and again. In the life cycle of a project, in the life cycle of a project, in the life cycle of a property is sold multiple times. So broker may want to sell the same property to different buyers every 3, 4, 5 years. And that's how they want to build the relationship. That's how they make money. And remember, they are very, they are very keen. I mean, they understand who's a newbie and who is a professional guy who is doing the business for some time. So if you have done business with somebody, broker is gonna take you, and if you have done it correctly, the broker is gonna take you seriously, and they will bring you the deal. So building these relationships are like your childhood friends, and some of these relationships go a long time. We still have a couple of brokers with whom we have been dealing for last probably 4 or 5 years, and every year they bring us 2, 3 deals. So take it very seriously, guys. As you say, deals and investors. You continue to nurture your investors relationships. You continue to nurture your broker relationships almost parallelly. So what are the different advices? The best advices is you should be looking for listing brokers, right? We should be looking. So if you go to LoopNet and you look for the property, I'm not saying that you look for properties on LoopNet, by the way, guys. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you go to LoopNet, look at your target market, you find few properties, see which property is listed by what brokerage, go to those brokerage site, and then try to connect the top level broker in that brokerage, right? I mean, there are some independent brokerages where, where you have a head broker and multiple, junior brokers. You connect with junior brokers, obviously, but try to establish, go up to the food chain as soon as possible. Talk to the listing broker who is actually holding that listing. There's nothing called buyer's broker in commercial, right? We don't need a buyer's broker. We don't co-broker. In residential, obviously, you can have a buyer's broker who can split their brokerage with somebody. And in commercial, we don't have that. So try to connect with the listing broker, right? And again, the important thing is connect to as many brokers as possible. If you're in the starting of a career, make a goal that you're gonna talk to at least 3, 4 brokers a week. 3, 4 brokers, new brokers a week in your Rolodex, meaning you could have 100, 200 brokers by the end of the year easily, right? So 2, 3 brokers, new brokers with whom you are connecting on a regular basis. So once the broker has sent a deal to you, if it is your initial connection with them, the onus is on to you to respond back to the broker. Broker has sent you something, you look at the deal right away, you do your underwriting, right? And ask relevant questions, if need be, share your underwriting with the broker and ask relevant questions to the broker. Because once you start asking relevant questions, then broker will probably feel that you are taking them seriously, right? Then they will start giving you more attention. Initially, they will potentially give you the deal. You looked at it, they'll send you another deal. You looked at it, you have not responded. After a couple of weeks, they'll forget about you because they don't want to be wasting their time. It's all about personal relationships and how you build that, how you start that personal relationship into businesses. You come back immediately and show that you have full intention to buy in the market. Ask relevant questions. Do not go try to lowball them all the time. I mean, if they brought a deal to you, a $20 million deal, and you come back with an offer of 12 million, they're not going to spend their time at all. So come back, ask them why it is 20 million. Why can't it be 18? Why can't it be 18.5? What do you think the seller is thinking? So if you ask relevant questions, share yours and your team track record, right? Share yours and your team's track record. That will give a lot of weightage, right? So in the beginning, even if you have not closed a deal with the broker, or even if you have not closed any deal so far, it is okay to tell the broker that, yes, I have not closed any deal, but I'm associated with this big team. I'm associated with this big team, and we have closed this much deals over the last so many years, and this is our track record. So, there's nothing, brokers know that you are a new guy. The fundamental thing is, you come with a track record, and basically that takes you to the good books in the broker. The step is converting that personal relationship into business relationships as soon as possible. So again, few things, as I said, it's not rocket science, nothing I'm telling you which you already do not know, but these things have worked. These things have worked with us in past, and I'm sharing it with you. Is if you are new in this business, you need deals, and for deals, you go to the brokers, you start adding 2 or 3 brokers in your Rolodex, or 2 or 3 new brokers in your Rolodex per week. That would mean 100 to 150 new brokers in your target markets. If you have 4 cities, you have 20, 30 brokers in those markets. Excuse me. And that would basically give you enough leverage, enough contacts, and if you are in those markets, you go meet them personally, take them out for lunch, dinner or breakfast, coffee or whatever, so that they understand that you are not wasting their time. You are serious. You ask them relevant questions. You look for listing broker, and as I gave you the tip, finding the listing broker is easy. You can go to LoopNet or Craigslist or any of these websites, look at the property which you are interested in, and look at the brokerage who has listed that property, and then go to the brokerage site, find who is the top broker there, talk to them, try to connect with them, and maintain that relationship. Couple of years down, I have known people who have bought properties just to establish relationship with brokers. Who have bought smaller properties. Obviously, those properties made sense for them, but they just bought properties to establish relationship with good brokers, and later point brokers started giving them bigger deals, and they ended up making a lot of money. Remember, the brokers can make you a lot of money in your business, guys. So I cannot emphasize, I cannot give more emphasis than you need to have brokers basically for your business. You need deals, you need investors. Where do the deals come from? They come from brokers. Investors is another discussion that we will have someday. But the important thing is you establish the relationship with the broker and do it as soon as possible. And it's not a rocket science. In 1 year, as I said, you could have 100 to 150 brokers if you try to add only 2 or 3 brokers in your Rolodex per week. So that's all I have, but I can share a lot of, anybody has any questions, you can ask questions. Sorry, Raviraj, I did not see the Q&A box earlier. And I can answer specific questions anybody has in this area, but just a little bit about ourselves. And I can talk about that now. Basically, if you want to schedule a call with us, there are 3 different barcodes here. Barcodes here is one is schedule a call. We have free underwriting sessions every Saturday. You can scan that, cashflowchamps.com /underwrite, right? And we have coaching also in our group, cashflowchamps.com /coaching. So somebody is asking, how do you get brokers to take you seriously when you are new? And that was something which I was discussing earlier was, so let's ask one question at a time, take one question at a time. Oh, Facebook is working properly. That's good. Sorry, I did not see that. Christian, you can manage the chat box. So how do you get brokers to take you seriously when you are new? When you are new, as I said, you should know what you are asking. When you go talk to the broker, your answers should be set. What is your target market? What is the asset class? Where is the debt and equity coming from? And what is your track record? Yes, you do not have track record, but if you come across professional to the broker, you say, hey, Mr. Broker, I personally have not closed a deal myself, but however, I work with this team. And because I work in this team, my team has done this much work. My team has closed $200 million worth of assets, $200 million worth of projects in last 4 or 5 years. And we are here to do the business. We are not here to waste your time. And when you start talking to the broker, and if they send you a deal, you look at the deal meticulously within 24 to 48 hours, get back to them, ask relevant questions, set up calls with them, try to show your underwriting, tell them this is a $20 million deal, but in my opinion, it should really be 18 million or 18.5 million. If you come back with a $12 million valuation, then broker is not going to take you seriously, right? So you have to tell what are your metrics, what are your investors looking for, 7 pref, mid-teen IRRs, and you show them your seriousness. If you are just a looker, broker will send you a deal once or twice, and after that they'll just treat you as looker. You are not a buyer, right? So that's how you potentially that's how basically brokers start taking you seriously. It is how you project yourself. It is not about them. It is about how serious you are. So somebody is asking, Ravi Raj is asking, how can one be a GP on our team? So it is possible to be a general partner on our team. There is no promise of any sort. You can schedule a call with me, the first barcode on the screen. We can talk about it separately. But again, it depends, a GP can be for a different role, somebody who has brought the deal to the table, somebody who is on the equity side, somebody who is going to do the asset management. So depending upon your role, we can talk about it and see what you bring to the table. It's all partnership, right? Partnership has to be a win-win. It has to be a win-win for you and win-win for a team, basically. So when you connect with somebody, you offer what you can do, and if there's a need for your skill on the team, you can be part of the team. So Ravi Raj, please schedule some time. We can discuss it a little bit more. The next question is Cashflow Champs having a summit again this year? Thank you so much, anonymous attendee. We appreciate the feedback. Yes, Cashflow Champs will have a summit again this year. For now, it is fixed for November. I don't have the dates right in front of me. If you go to cfcsummit.com, it will be, I think, whatever the dates are. We will have that. Maybe have that sooner than that. There might be some possibility, but for now it is fixed for November. Appreciate your feedback. How can we effectively leverage our relationship with the group if we have not done a deal previously with the group? See, it is all about learning, right? There are many ways. If you have not done a deal with the group previously, you connect with somebody in some way, right? Again, I'm not trying to blow smoke here. You connect with somebody some way, offer your help. And I'll give you my real example, okay? When I started 5 years ago in multifamily, before that I used to do single family, I said, guys, I connected with a group. I brought my strength to the table. I said, listen, guys, I'm going to bring equity to the table. I will sign on the loan also, whatever it was, and I will do whatever needs to be done for the deal. I literally said, you asked me to sweep your floors, I'll do that. I literally said that. And I put my efforts in the group without expectation, without any expectation, because I wanted to learn. I continued to put myself into the project. It was a big project, 450 units. I gave everything to the project, and I ended up getting a general partnership position on that project, just because for my connections, I brought in some equity. I project managed the whole team, basically. And when at the time of closing, when we sat together, we said, what should be the GP percentage? I was surprised to get higher percentage than I was expecting. So proof is in the pudding. It's all about your efforts. When you connect with somebody, go in without expectation, and it's learning. You have to trust somebody. You have to go in there, with your skills. What can you bring to the table? And most likely, I'm telling you, almost 100% of the time, you will end up finding a GP spot. So be humble, offer yourself, and you'll find a spot. So an anonymous attendee is asking the question, two questions. As you raise more money than deal, do you intake all investor commitments and have them wire money or do you advise that their soft commitment would be transferred to hard commitment once? And then, so basically, you take soft commitment from investors, right? And typically, I like to take more soft commitment than my deal needs the money, right? So if I have a deal where I need to raise about 5 million, I would probably go for 25% more, 6.25, and try to, because the times things do happen. Soft commit, they're almost all the time soft commit. There will be some soft commitment that will not convert into hard commitment. It's almost all the time that happens. So you should always be prepared to have higher soft commitments. And if you end up making, if you have more money, you always tell the investors, guys, it is money coming to the account. That is the priority. First come, first serve, right? If you have more soft commitments and your hard commitments are more too, those who transfer the money, they have the higher priority. So even if you have more money, which is a good problem to have, if you are full, you return the money back to the investors and tell them, guys, sorry, not in this deal. In the next deal, we'll accommodate you. But most likely, once in a while that situation may happen, but it is okay to have more soft commitments. And if you end up getting more hard commitments, it is the money which comes to the account. The money which hits the account first gets the higher priority, right? Some people can send the money a week earlier before the closing. Some people will not send the money until the last minute. So you want to be prepared. You don't want to be sitting in a situation where you don't have money to close. So better you have more money than less money to close. And any spill off, you probably will have to tell the investors, guys, you were late. You transferred at the last minute, and now we'll have to move you to the next deal. The next question is there any way pre-signing PPM and taking soft commits in your portal, you can hold the investor liable if they decide they don't want to commit anymore? No, that signing a PPM actually means nothing in my mind, unless you want to break your relationship with the investor, right? I have not yet seen anybody holding the investor liable to put the money, right? So, and I do not suggest that we should be doing that, because you are going to hurt yourself in the long run. So investors have signed the PPM, and it has happened to everybody. It has happened to us also in past. Investors signed the PPM, and for whatever reason, they could not fund. They changed their mind. We had to delete the PPM. So it is what it is. That's the nature of the business. You should not be thinking of holding them accountable or liable. There is no way. So right now, this is at will investment, right? And they may choose not to. They may find something or better until they fund. So if they sign the PPM, the best practice is that within 24 to 48 hours, they should transfer the money. You should not let the PPM signed, and even if the deal is getting delayed, you should make sure that your money is coming to your account sooner than later. But do not think of that's my suggestion. You have to do what you have to do. But if you make an investor liable, you're going to hurt yourself. Sounds good. Guys, again, as I said, a few more questions. Christians, put the CFC Summit link there. The next one is, the reason I don't want more money is I don't want to dilute the share of the first property. See, you have already decided how much money you're going to need from investors. you cannot have more money than that anyway, right? In the property. If you need 5 million and if you have collected 5.5, you will have to return your 500,000 back to investors. You cannot dilute the share yourself without investors' consent. Because in PPM, in your operating agreement, and in subscription agreement, you have told that you have declared clearly that you are going to raise, for example, $5 million that is needed for this property. And for whatever reason, you have more money coming in. You cannot have it. You cannot take it because you are not allowed to dilute the share. You have to return the money back to investors, right? Unless you go back and amend the PPM and ask everybody to sign it again. Hopefully it makes sense. The next question Stephen is asking is, would the group consider business line of credit to fund the deals as opposed to funding commitment if they may not be available at the time of deal funding? So it is up to the investor. So there are two things, okay? I mean, Stephen, are you saying that, so basically the group, a syndicator, an operator could have their own business line of credit if just in case if the commitments fell off the radar to close the deal. That is definitely an option. And if you are asking, would an operator consider business line of credit, funds from a business line of credit of an investor? I mean, as an operator, we really don't have any say where the money is coming from. Is it coming from business line of credit of investors' business line of credit, or is it coming from an account? We really don't have any say. However, we do want to make sure that we are not taking all the money from investors. We typically discourage investors to borrow funds and then invest. That's the typical, unless we know that investors has a good standing. To answer your question, it is not our position. However, we do discourage borrowed funds from investors. If your question was that, would we consider business line of credits? Yeah, we would consider that all the time. I mean, we have business line of credits and we tap into that once in a while when we are short in funds before closing and we fill it back, So yeah, good question, Stephen. So another question is, I like that approach is that you can always return money that will possibly value the share. Yeah, okay, very good. It would be better if you put your name. I don't call you anonymous attendee, but it's good that you like the approach. So there's another question is, any advice on finding a KP when you are just starting out and you may not have the net worth and liquidity requirements lenders are looking for? So again, this is a very closed business, okay? I would give my 2 cents here. It's a very close-knit business. 95% of the deals are 506B, means we must have had a relationship with our investors in past. So only 5% of the deals which are 506C, which are published on Facebook or are advertised. Similarly, a KP connection is a very personal connection also. When we are in this business, we continue to connect with, folks who have done the business in this industry for some time. And slowly we end up knowing who has what. Net worth is sort of public, not a public information, but inside the group kind of information. When you are connecting with multiple, meetup, you go to meetups, to these conferences, you start going inside a group, you start knowing who could be a potential KP. So can we give some names? There are many names out there. You can connect with any of these bigger groups. Who they may or may not want to become KP. Slowly, when you are talking to people, there are other KPs actually who are looking for deals, because for them, one can sign on multiple deals at the same time, right? So as a KP, for those, they get piece of the pie. So it is something very lucrative in some ways. So feel free to connect with people. Ask them, would they be willing to be a KP? Connect with us. Maybe we can guide you, connect you, depending upon what kind of deal you have. Connect with us, and we can potentially guide you to connect with few other KPs. So next question is, it's a fund, not a single syndication, but I get the approach. Okay, thank you so much. What is more important? A lot of relationship with brokers or a fewer? I think instead of diluting yourself, stronger relationship with good brokers is the most important thing. If you can have stronger relationship with 5 to 10 few brokers in your market, that is an important piece, rather than having 30, 40, 50 brokers and not being able to communicate with them properly. That's not what I would suggest. So my answer to your specific question is fewer and stronger relationships. That's how I would go. How can you find a broker who is investor focused, meaning that they invest in property themselves and therefore are aware with strategic finance? Most brokers in multifamily business are investor focused. They know if they are starting out themselves, maybe then at that time they do not know, but it's their job to know that most of these deals, which are millions and millions of dollars of deals, 5 million to 50 million to whatever number it is, they know investors will not buy themselves unless it is less than 50 unit deal and you're buying it from a wholesaler or whatever. Wholesalers typically do not know what investor focus, how these deals are put together. But brokers are likely to know. If they don't know it, maybe they're not the right broker. That's my thought again. It's my suggestion. It's my take on it. Most brokers know that there's hardly ever one group that can buy the whole deal themselves. Brokers do as much research on buyers as you do on brokers. So I don't think it is hard to find investor-focused brokers. Investors focus residential agent, that's a different league altogether, right? We are not talking about single family here. We are talking about multifamily, and most multifamily brokers are investor focused. So Paul says, I'm interested in attending your event in November. I would like to go to 3 multifamily events this year. What other 2 events would you recommend to attend? Yes, you are very welcome, Paul, to attend our virtual event in November. There are many other events out there. You have one best ever conference in February in Salt Lake City, Utah. Then you have many others, like MFIN conferences, sometime in June, July in Dallas, Houston area. There are many of them. I do not have the list, but at least these 2, MFIN, and second is best ever conference, and third could be RE Mentor in Phoenix area, sometimes towards the end of the year. These are the most popular ones. Then we have, Vinny Chopra's probably in And then we have Jake and Geno's in Florida markets. So there are 5, 6 of them which are very prominent. As I said, I don't remember all of them. Vinny Chopra's, Jake and Geno's, Best Ever, Dan Hanford. Some of these are the good ones. Just check them out. I don't remember the name for Jake and Geno's, and then Vinny Chopra's, but Dan Hanford is MFIN. Then you have Best Ever in Salt Lake City in February. The next question is, okay, this is done. Is the group interested in LISTC property or are not profitable due to restrictions on rent? We have had LISTC properties in past, and they have been profitable so far. It all depends on the deal. They call it light tech. They have been profitable. We are actually selling a deal right now that was light tech. It worked out okay for us. Do we want to do more of those deals? I'm not sure. It is a little bit more work. We can look into the deal, and see whether that makes sense or not. We are not opposed to it as long as the price point is correct. It's all about the price point, right? Whether in the long run can we make money or not. If it is in the market where we are already in, and then it is easier for us to manage. I don't see any more questions in Q&A box. Does anybody see any more questions, guys? If not, again, you can schedule a call with me, with us, join our sign up for underwriting sessions on Saturday. If you are interested, we have coaching. We have started coaching recently. And, I must say that basically we have options to do deals with our students also. So that is something that no other group does. And we are planning to do that in the 6 to 12 months time frame. We would do deals with our students depending upon the market conditions, obviously, but that's on the horizon. In addition to that, please register for the webinar for next week, finding past partners and investors for multifamily syndication. One was, today was deals. Next week is finding partners and investors for multifamily syndications. That is the second part. I keep saying that these are like two hands of anybody. One is deals and one is investors. Today we talked about deals. Actually, we talked about brokers only because most of the deals come from brokers. 99%. It's not even worth going into that 1%, trying to tap into the 1% piece, trying to find a off-market deal which is more than 100 units. So 99% of the deals from the broker. Today we talked about brokers. Next week we will talk about finding partners and finding investors for multifamily syndication. So you have the QR code here. Feel free to scan. And yes, we have Parag. Thank you so much for your comment. Yes, we do have meetup events. Yesterday, every third Tuesday of every month, we have in-person meetup in multiple cities. Right now, we have meetup in New York, Charlotte, and Washington DC areas. We have not started an online meetup because we already have Saturday underwriting sessions. We have coaching calls. We have not started online virtual meetup yet. That's not on the horizon right now, but maybe we'll start something. We have webinars. we are doing a webinar right now. So webinars, podcast, in-person meetup, Saturday underwriting sessions, and then we have classes for our students. All right, that's all we have, guys. We are on the hour right now, 11:59. Appreciate your time today, and looking forward to seeing you next week. Next week's session is finding partners and investors for multifamily syndication. Thank you so much.